According to YouTube, 85% of you are not part of the Mondo crew. Fix that by subscribing today.
Authors and artists work really hard on this stuff, so please support them using the links below.
What's up, everyone? As I said in the initial first upload of this series, Dragon Ball Super Kai was a little bit wonky getting put in video format. As the first 7 chapters I translated myself using machines, in 8 onward I actually hired someone to get a more accurate version. So if you need anything translated from Japanese to English, I highly recommend Zero Kaira, who I've linked in the description. Also be sure to check out the author Toshio Wataru and support him on Twitter and Pixiv. But most of all, just enjoy the story.
Sponsored by Miles Kirby!
A few days after the Tournament of Power, Frieza finds himself floating in the void of space, venting his frustrations after the events that previously transpired. Disgusted, there are so many proven to be a superior in combat. Though, maybe in the long run, this could be a good thing. To restore the respect and fear to his name, perhaps more training must be done. While he's still undecided upon attacking the gods themselves, he isn't saying he won't do it either. Then, a mysterious figure reveals himself, ironically commenting on how nice the weather is today, before telling Frieza he shouldn't feel such shame, asking if he'd like to play King once more. Pressing, it's a good feeling to see the Space Lord sunk so low. Quipping to not give him praise for failure, Frieza then takes interest in this man's ability to survive in space, who tells him he's able to travel at will, with much more freedom and speed than Frieza himself. Raising his hand, Frieza comments that he will have to do something about this attitude of his. Perhaps it's just what he needs to help forget the tournament. Firing a death beam at the man, Frieza makes a crack about how all that freedom is working for him now. Then, hearing his voice from behind, "Well, that was rather rude," as he is seen emerging from a portal of some kind. He goes to tell the former emperor who he is. On Beerus's world, everyone simultaneously senses the strange power, able to tell it's Frieza and somebody new. Goku and Vegeta are unable to make heads or tails of it. The only thing that is for certain, they're fighting. Vegeta believes they're pretty evenly matched, but Whis isn't so sure. That's when Goku feels a shift in power, claiming he's not exactly confident himself he can take on this new guy. Vegeta growling at the admission of someone stronger than Frieza. As Goku goes to check things out, Whis urgently reminds him that he can't breathe in space, and for him to take him with him. Grabbing his shoulder, they quickly teleport to the fight. And, just as they sensed, Frieza is well on the ropes against this new adversary. He glances over his shoulder at their presence, turning his back on Frieza. Before looking on, Goku bulks yet again at this new foe. "Whis, it's been a while." As Goku already assumes the worst, it's confirmed that this man is indeed an angel who introduces himself as Murno, telling him it's already been a crazy day, asking Whis to say hi to the family for him before making another portal. Whis calls after him, "Brother, wait!" But the wayward angel only apologizes, stating there are other matters afoot, and bids Whis farewell, taking off, leaving Goku and his mentor floating in space with more questions than when they arrived. Back on Beerus's planet, they inform Vegeta of the situation, Whis explaining that Murno was his brother and best friend before he vanished one day, causing Goku to finally reminisce about his own sibling, looking over to Vegeta and asking, "Hey, don't you have a brother too? And yours is still alive and well. You should really spend more time together." But we all know how Vegeta feels about showing any form of affection. Whis then gets very serious, going into detail on how his brother was the angel of the god of destruction of the 13th universe, one of the 6 realms that Lord Zeno chose to erase. However, until now, he was sure he no longer existed, stunning Goku on how somebody could escape Zeno's power. Vegeta questions if Murno was always this powerful, but Whis doesn't believe so. Defeating Frieza with such ease is one thing, but escaping Zeno is completely unheard of, even for angels. Once Zeno decides to do something, it becomes unchangeable. The fact that he chose to erase Murno should have made it become the infallible law of reality, even though his brother was known for immense power and technique. Even he, cutting Whis off, they hear, "So, this is where you've been living." Stepping into their plane of existence, Murno greets Whis once more, who is paralyzed at the sight of him. Looking toward Goku and Vegeta, he asks who these 2 mosquitoes are, then recognizes Goku from a few moments ago, complimenting him on getting back here so quickly. But singling out Vegeta, he only says, "What a shame." bringing Vegeta to a bit of confusion. Going on, he explains that he senses Vegeta does not possess the same abilities as his counterpart. Vegeta, being who he is, asks what that matters, but the angel tells him to calm down, as that is why he himself is here. Goku finally interjects, asking what he wants, explaining, matter-of-factly, that he just wants to see who the strongest fighter in Universe 7 is. Goku responds, almost out of character, telling him that could end up being a rather deadly endeavor. But then the angel, in a bit of an ADD moment, "Hey, wait, wasn't there a purple cat here once?" But regaining focus, he assures Goku that he bears no grudge towards them, even though, rumor has it, this place does house amazing foods. Despite the quirkiness of the stranger, Goku can't sit right, demanding to know what his goal is. Murno calmly tells him that it's a game, nothing more, leaving the planet momentarily silent. Before Murno reiterates, he thinks this is going to be fun. But that's when Whis jumps between him and the Saiyans, knowing how powerful any angel is compared to mortals. But this challenger tells Whis it's no use, demanding he get out of the way. But when he refuses, Murno can only utter, "Well, look at that, and here I was happy to see you again, brother. At any rate, this is the beginning of enlightenment." Never one to back down, Goku lets the Rogue Angel know that he has no issue in fighting him. This confidence intrigues Murno, given he knows firsthand he has no chance at victory. Elaborating, Goku lets him know that he does not want to fight, but if he's come to cause harm, it leaves him little choice. To summarize the following conversation, essentially, Murno is baffled at the belief Goku and Vegeta are willing to fight, but have no genuine motivation. So he decides to conjure up a plan, using one of his portals. He grabs Pan from the earth, demanding he let her go. He assures Goku this is only meant to be a demonstration of his abilities, a demonstration that he can end the life of anyone he loves at any moment if he thinks he's holding back. As Pan begins to cry, Murno's humorous side comes back, putting her back through the portal, muttering, "I don't know what I'm doing with this thing anyway," before looking back at the Saiyans. "So, come on then." Goku, now furious anyone would dare lay hands on somebody he loves, warns the stranger he should be careful what he wishes for, before being told his idle threats are meaningless unless he intends to back them up. And at this rate, it seems they will be here for a while. Elated to see Goku has harnessed God Ki of all things, the Saiyan is done waiting himself. As he sends the angel flying, Whis warns Goku not to engage him further, but it's far too late for that. Complimenting Goku on such a hit, Murno expresses his excitement in finding such a formidable opponent. Vegeta looking on, knowing how bad the situation is. With a sinister grin, the angel shouts that he can't wait to see what the future holds. During a break in the action, it becomes clear rather quickly that Goku isn't holding up well. Even Vegeta admits he's not sure how they're going to get out of this one. Calling him out, Murno tells the Saiyan Prince that he's correct in his passive approach to this fight, and sometimes it is better to just admit defeat. But Vegeta assures him they will find a way to win, and it's only a matter of time. Scoffing at the notion, he tells the Saiyan that all this talk means nothing. In fact, he's already met someone quite like him. Asking what the celestial being means, he goes on to detail on how a powerful demon was the destroyer of his universe, and a great galactic ruler, very similar to Frieza's status in this universe, was a Saiyan that was a spitting image of Vegeta himself. Naturally, the Saiyan was no match for a destroyer, and was easily dispatched. Although, things here have transpired profoundly different than in his own universe, so it's possible they're not at all related. Ever prideful, Vegeta asks the Saiyan's name, but this topic has begun to bore Murno, reaching back through a portal retrieving Pan yet again. He reminds Goku exactly what he's fighting for. Falling for his trap. The angel tricks Goku, sending him through the portal. But where has he sent him off to, and why? Pan falls right into the waiting arms of Vegeta, as the villain shouts out that it looks like only one remains now, telling the prince he sent Goku somewhere cold and empty, a lonely void, furthering this by explaining to Vegeta that Goku lacked the cold-heartedness needed to be his true opponent, admitting to the Saiyan Prince that he and himself seemed to share an unspoken bond. Both their ranks were taken from them by someone who was unjustly powerful. But this speech is interrupted as the villain turns around to find the father of angels and the right hand to Zeno himself, the Grand Minister. Smugly asking what he wants, he peacefully reminds Murno that his very existence is unacceptable. The fact he's meddling in the affairs of mortals is a whole other story. But the fallen angel tells his father he answers to no one, as he, Zeno, as well as his angel siblings all turn their back on him, doing nothing as Zeno erased everything he'd ever known, and he doesn't plan on letting them get away with it. Even Vegeta lets him know what a bad idea that is. But naturally, Murno doesn't care what any of them have to say, deciding it's best to leave, telling his brother and father it was a nice reunion before disappearing. Whis apologizes to the Grand Minister for doing nothing to stop him, but his father understands. Vegeta explains the events that just took place, as the minister confirms that Murno is indeed his son, and everything he had to say is more or less true. Upon asking where he thinks Kakarot was sent, the Grand Minister believes he has an idea. As Goku floats in the lonely void, he begins to speculate this is one of the universes Zeno erased. Suddenly sensing something in the middle of all this nothing, he uses instant transmission to lock onto the life form. While it's impossible to tell how far he travels, he does indeed seem to have found someone who introduces himself but fails to mention his name. And upon closer inspection, we all know who it sort of looks like. Back with Vegeta, Whis continues to theorize on the agenda of Murno. The Grand Minister worries of the consequences when Zeno finds out about these happenings. But for now, there's nothing he can do to remedy the situation immediately, as this goes beyond his scope. Whis, as well, admits he won't be able to do anything either, and it would be best if Vegeta just returned to Earth for the time being, as they figure out where Goku has gone. Not long later, Gohan and Videl panic as Pan is nowhere to be found, as last they were aware, she was down for a nap. That's when Gohan senses the arrival of Vegeta. For him, this is obviously a peculiar occasion, but they're infinitely relieved to see he has come carrying the infant. Gohan thanks him, asking how he came across her. But upon seeing the serious look on his face, he asks the warrior what's wrong, who continues a silence for a moment, before telling Gohan to get ready, as there's most likely a fierce battle looming and the Earth will need all the help it can get. As he takes off. Arriving at Capsule Corp, Bulma is already outside to greet him, telling her husband he's had a friend waiting for him for about an hour now, as his blood runs cold, to find Murno has already arrived. A moment passes. Murno can be heard letting out a hearty laugh as Bulma tells a story of a time she slapped Beerus across the face. The angel finds joy in this not only for the obvious reasons, but getting a feel for Vegeta's personality. It would seem all too likely he would end up with such a wife. Bulma urges her spouse that Murno is actually really friendly, and he should join in on the conversation, but the prince stays quiet. Murno then goes on to ask Bulma about that parfait she promised earlier. Having forgotten, she leaves to retrieve it, asking him to wait just a moment. After she's left, Vegeta demands to know what the hell he's doing here. Sipping his tea, he mutters he merely wanted to see how Vegeta-kun lived on Earth, going on to compliment on what a lovely wife he's found, mentioning she resembles his bride from Universe 13. Back with Goku, the Saiyan asks who this guy is and where they are. The beardly gentleman calmly says aloud that when asking someone's name, one should state their own first, calling Goku by his birth moniker, Kakarot. Asking how he knows that name, he goes on his own little rant on how odd it is to see a mortal here, as even angels rarely tread these parts. But eventually, he enlightens Goku that he's in a different dimension than the one he's native to. Pausing a moment, the man goes on to say Pan is fine, as Vegeta just recently returned her to Gohan, once again showing to know things he logically shouldn't. But, as single-tracked as ever, Goku asks if Vegeta defeated Murno, but that's not the case. And the mysterious entity furthers, this is just another game for the Rogue Angel. Before admitting it's been a while since he had a customer, and if Goku would like something to eat. Looking out into the void, Goku asks, Huh? Eat? What are you talking about? There's nothing here! Calling our hero naive, the mystic says he shouldn't let his eyes fool him. If there is nothing, then there is everything. There is creation before destruction. Conjuring up a table full of food, gawking at the feast, Goku remarks that this guy is like one of Bulma's capsules. Speaking of which, Murno grows impatient at her taking so long with that parfait, using a portal to reach into another realm, delighted to see what this parfait thing is in person. Getting a taste, naturally, he finds it to be amazing between the coldness and sweetness. Still disgruntled, Vegeta tells the angel he can leave after finishing his dessert, who utters to the prince, 30 minutes, causing a bit of confusion. Elaborating, he says that's how long it will take for Whis to realize he is here, and will most likely intervene in some way. However, he then suggests he tests Vegeta's strength, just as something to do while he is here. Who knows, maybe this knowledge will come in handy someday. This is frustrating for a number of reasons. Vegeta knows if they fight here, the entire city could be destroyed. Standing, Murno compliments West City, even calling it a splendid metropolis. Yet somehow, there isn't a single sound emanating from it. That's when Vegeta notices. He's right, there isn't a sound to be heard. Getting a cold chill as he realizes Murno has possibly done something with everybody in the city, including Bulma. Launching the prince through several buildings, the angel grows a sinister smile across his face. Where have Bulma and the others gone, you ask? It depends on how serious you'd like to take this. Though, one of the few occasions Vegeta would rather avoid battle. At the moment, it doesn't seem he has a choice. Taking this very serious, powering up to maximum. Tossing his garb to the side, the angel mutters, "That's more like it," ready to test the difference between this Vegeta and the other. Using his own portal against him, the Saiyan sends Murno flying. Though quite winded, at least he managed to get a hit. Murno couldn't be more impressed, even laughing a bit at his clever feat. Getting up, he bluntly states that's Vegeta's strong point. He uses cold logic and reads his opponent's movements before surpassing them in his own style. Taking his fighting stance, Murno says there's still a little time left and he'd like to continue. Reaching out to fire his final flash, Murno gets excited and, oddly enough, even knows the name of this technique. Upon discovering the angel plans to take the attack head on, this only angers the prince. Failing to use that logic he was just complimented on, Murno places a portal right in front of him, completely diverting the blast. It's only now Vegeta wonders what the hell he's supposed to do. As the angel chorts, that was good enough, but would still like to continue. Meanwhile, Trunks rushes towards his home as Goten shouts for him to wait up, but the young warrior senses something wrong in West City and has to get to his parents. Maybe I should show you something interesting. As the angel seems to be focusing, Vegeta wonders what he's up to. Releasing dozens of portals, they surround him. The kids can only look on in horror, as West City is no more, and Vegeta lies below, defeated. Despite this, Murno compliments him on his durability. Then the angel makes an unexpected offer, explaining to Vegeta that the biggest thing the Saiyan lacks is a master, which is understandable, given there's clearly no one on this planet qualified, so he himself offers to fill the void. Before noticing the presence of Goten and Trunks, the latter of which shouts after his father, Look at that. Some children have come to greet you. Since they've arrived to help, maybe I should go say hello." But not willing to put him in danger, Vegeta attempts to rise to his feet, once again impressing the angel, who goes on to comment that since his power has weakened, he better take a precaution, reminding him of that final flash from before. As it comes barreling back through a newly opened portal, overtaking Vegeta, as Goten and Trunks can do nothing. Shortly after, the angel appears behind him. The boy demands to know what the stranger's done to his parents. Reaching out, Murno merely pats him on the head, assuring Trunks he's merely an acquaintance of his father, and he'd like to get along. Mysteriously, at the lookout, Vegeta awakens, surrounded by the boys Piccolo and Dende. Happy to see his son is alright. He then asks what happened to Murno, and it would seem he suddenly disappeared. Again.
If he could overpower you, Vegeta, I don't need to state the severity of the situation.
Trunks asks Piccolo if they can use the Dragon Balls to save his mother and restore West City, but his concern is that the Dragon Balls were at Bulma's house, and if West City has been destroyed, then Murno makes another timely appearance, assuring them there's no need for concern, as he has the Dragon Balls. Tensing up, Vegeta growls, asking what he plans to do with them, who admits he has been thinking about wishing to dissolve Zeno's order, but he assumes that's far beyond Shenron's power. So maybe he'll just wish for an unlimited supply of those parfait things. As he transports the orbs to another realm, before singling out Dende, telling him not to get clever, as there's no point in creating new Dragon Balls or using the Namekians. If they do so, he'll just gather those up as well, leaving the Guardians speechless. And before he goes, Murno assures the gang that Bulma and the citizens of West City are perfectly alive and well. This has been quite fun. I think the next theme will be me versus the Earth. Until we meet again. And as quickly as he arrived, Murno is gone once more.
What a wicked creature!
But Dende questions Piccolo, asking if he really believes that to be true. And it may be weird to say, but he doesn't sense any evil from within him. Surprisingly enough, Vegeta agrees, and with his fist trembling, states aloud, they are all just tiny pieces in this little game of his. But what exactly is this game? With Goku, turns out, one can eat a whole lot of nothing when nothing is everything. Then again, this is Goku. Even he admits that this is the most he's ever gotten to eat, and one of the few times he's actually felt full. The mysterious man laughs, reminding the Saiyan he can just whip up some more food anytime he wants. Goku thanks him but says now it's time to leave, but the figure asks where to, as no one can escape from this place. Even teleportation won't work, causing a bit of understandable panic. Explaining, Goku can only be teleported by Murno from this place. And to be honest, he isn't even sure if this was Murno's intended destination for the Saiyan, believing Goku's God Ki may have interfered with the portal. Confusedly asking what he should do, the man instructs Goku to ask Murno himself.
What? Are you serious?
Elaborating, Vegeta mentions Murno said, me versus the Earth, before he left, believing he means that literally, doing to the planet what he did to West City. The boys chime in wanting to help, and they just may need every single fighter they can get. Double checking to make sure this actually is Murno, the Rogue Angel happily greets the misplaced Saiyan. Goku then assumes he came to finish what he started, but the mysterious entity tells him not to be so hasty, once again referring to him by his birth name, then explains that this Murno is a creation of his own, and sorta just like a doll, much to the astonishment of Goku, thinking he could only create food before now. He then reminds him, everything is possible in this realm. This replica even has the same power as the original Murno. This figure will act as Goku's sparring partner. Obviously a lot to take in, he finally asks who this guy is exactly, lifting his hood, claiming to be nothing more than a retired old man. On Beerus' world, Whis is seen standing before every fighter Vegeta could gather, knowing they're gonna have to pull out all the stops for this one, further stating they would like to be trained by Whis. And to the great surprise of the Angel, the Grand Minister approves, telling the Prince he will train him himself, while Whis is to aid the others, which sounds perfect to Vegeta. Unknown to them, someone is eavesdropping on this conversation, and very excited on how fun things are looking to get. What? Me, the leader? Explaining, Whis states Roshi's knowledge and experience makes him the most suitable for this role. Krillin agrees, arguing that Goku and himself have only come this far because of the Turtle Master's training. Going on, Whis believes he can come up with a strategy to utilize everyone's strengths, saying aloud, Roshi details those strengths, where Krillin has his Kienzan and was further able to develop Tien's solar flare technique. Yamcha has his crab omelet on rice technique, neither 17 or 18 exhaust power. Buu is a universe of abilities on his own. The boys confuse into Gotenks, Piccolo in his clever battle tactics, and Gohan's ultimate form. Roshi believes combining technique, power, and knowledge will be their best bet, giving Gohan an idea. But with Vegeta, the Grand Priest explains that the biggest difference between he and Goku is their approach to battle. All Vegeta has to do is improve his skill in this area, and the Grand Minister believes he will be undefeatable. Admitting that he himself does not possess the same abilities as Murno, his overall power is greater, so if the Prince can defeat him, he can also defeat the Rogue Angel. Vegeta laughs this off, saying that's easier said than done, but embraces the challenge, warning he will be training with the intent to kill, which is exactly what the Grand Minister was hoping for. Meanwhile, Grandpappy Zeno tells Goku, or Kakarot, to listen carefully, as his training is all about imagery. If the Saiyan thinks for a moment that he's going to lose, the battle will be lost, reminding him once again that here, anything is possible. Come on. Away, in the middle of space. Maybe I should wait around for 1 year. If it were just Vegeta-kun, then maybe half a year. Revealing dozens of Murnos, all arguing about how long to wait before implementing their plan, with one mentioning there's no need to be so hasty. If they set no date at all, it gives them even more freedom. But what in the world is going on with so many Murnos? As one of them meditates alone, the angel remembers something. He was supposed to be the one to train Vegeta, not the Grand Minister. To see his growth has been the plan from the beginning, bringing some humorous frustration to Murno. Not long later, Whis congratulates Gohan on his forthcoming strategy, telling the others he thinks it's time for them to go support Vegeta. From what it sounds, he and the Grand Minister are training pretty hard. And sure enough, as the prince tries to catch his breath, he's complimented on his ability to produce so much power, coming to great impression to his mentor, getting full of himself. And to be honest, rightfully so if the Grand Minister is willing to give his praise. Vegeta brags that he'll show him how powerful he really is. But the Daishinkan is gone. While the Saiyan tries to locate him, turns out Vegeta is the one who has left, as Murno has teleported him to what looks like their previous battlefield of what used to be West City. Looks like your progress with Father is going well, yeah? Let's continue where we left off. Then revealing, he has also brought the others here, elaborating, it'll take at least an hour for Whis and the Grand Minister to arrive, so he'd like to begin immediately, though Krillin pleads his concerns about fighting on the planet, worried it'll crumble to pieces. However, Murno assures him to worry not. His daughter Marin is no longer on the Earth. In fact, no one, with exception of present company, currently resides on this planet, so there is no reason to showcase concern for anyone else, causing 18 to snap, demanding to know what he's done with her daughter, and Gohan to question if all the other Earthlings are okay. But Murno coldly responds, "Why would I bother to keep track of such fragile things?" As he dashes after the villainous angel, he's stopped by Piccolo, who firmly warns him to calm down, as most likely, he's not done anything harmful to anyone, as mortal lives don't interest him, causing Murno to interrogate whether this is Kami, former guardian of planet Earth, or possibly the intellect of the Demon King speaking. Resolving it doesn't really matter, only disappointed to see Gohan restrained from his provocation. Yamcha, showing some heart, announces he's had enough talk. It's time to teach this guy a lesson, as Gotenks agrees. Even the old-timer is ready to go, reminding Boo he's counting on him, who seems optimistic in whatever plan Roshi has up his sleeve. Pinching his belly, he rips off a few pieces of Boo blubber, tossing them into the air, and, in a surprising turn, 18, 17, Tien and the others are willfully ensnared, as Boo ushers the blobs back to him, absorbing them all, transforming. Super Boo is reborn! Oh wow, you sure know how to party. Even Vegeta is impressed by this strategy. Murno eggs on the remaining gang to entertain him, which seems to only be Boo and the prince himself. While impressive, it still doesn't seem Super Boo can stand up to an angel, though Murno admits he's faring better than he expected, using Gotenks' Super Ghost Kamikaze attack. Murno laughs this off, sending each of them through their own portal. But utilizing the after image, appearing right next to Murno, he uses a solar flare. Caught off guard, it proves greatly effective, before firing his candy beam, hitting Murno head on, transforming the angel into a chocolate bar. On the ground, Vegeta wonders if this is really the end. Looking at the sugary morsel, even Boo seems uncertain, when Murno arrives back through a portal. Well, that's what's surprising. Stating he's not quite sure what the Z-Fighters are thinking. Even if they do destroy him, is there anyone who can bring back all the humans? Boo can only furiously look on, wondering if this guy's even mortal, which is ironic coming from him of all people. And Vegeta discovering, the more you learn, the less you know. In that, if he and Boo are unable to figure out Murno, how can they stand a chance? However, the thought of being eaten and turned into chocolate doesn't sit well with the angel. Grabbing Boo through another portal, he spouts that even his calm self would be mad, and such impoliteness will not be forgiven, as another familiar villain interjects. That's my role, you know. After firing his death beam, he scolds Murno that he's been searching for him for a while now, and figured he'd be here, promising revenge for their last encounter. From the ground, Vegeta is shocked to see he's still alive, having Goku and Whis confirmed his death in person, and himself feeling his ki vanish. And in a strange display of character, Murno garners a cold sweat, stammering, "This is definitely bad." Away, the Saiyan explains to this copy that he wants to be able to defeat his real self. Shocked at this statement, the double questions if he's sure. And we all know Goku. He wants to study every possible movement the angel can replicate. You know, you're probably going to eat those words. Vegeta, Boo, and Frieza stand frozen. But what would Frieza have to be surprised about? Looking into the sky, we see 4 figures, and if Vegeta is on the ground, who is this extra fighter? Springing through yet another portal, one of the Murnos from before. Rising to see for himself, Vegeta scoffs that the angel has finally shown his true nature, stating he has the ability to create clones of himself. Gently laughing, Murno claims that Vegeta figured this out after their first encounter, but kept it to himself until now, which the prince admits to, having not wanted it to be true. To be fair, it's not exactly as it seems. Let me teach you what this power is all about. Elaborating, he can diverge into large amounts of separate entities. Buu shows his nervousness at this turn of events. Murno eyes down the Majin, stating it's quite similar to his own, or Ten Shinhan's, multiform technique, but with the addition of interdimensional teleportation. He can launch an army of himself at a moment's notice. He then details how he was able to escape Buu's candy beam, turning the back of his hand to the Z-Fighters. He informs them this crest previously had 4 markings, and now has 5. And if we look back, the first time we encounter Murno in his fight against Frieza, he sported half a crest. The second time, he had 1/4, just as he does now. During his tea with Bulma, only 2 markings. Every time Murno has left, it wasn't the same one who returned. Since Buu successfully defeated a single Murno, that iteration's crest has been transmitted to the others, and the angel can collect many more pieces to this insignia. Alas, just as Vegeta fears, the more complete the crest becomes, the more powerful Murno is, claiming there are 13 pieces to assemble. Once they're brought together, he will be at his full power. And given he has 8 and his counterpart 5, it would seem that goal is rather close. Finally asking why he's bothering to divulge all this info, Vegeta inquires if Murno is so cocky that even if the Z-Fighters know what to do, it still won't be enough. And that's pretty much it, firmly believing that his father, the Grand Minister, is the only one who can stand up to him. However, if he's able to do so, he wouldn't mind dying at Vegeta's hand, who is more than happy to oblige. Summoning his inner Yamcha, Buu tries his hand at the Neo Wolfang Fist. Hey, sweet name. Behind you? As cold as ever, Frieza blows Buu to pieces, but he quickly puts himself back together before screaming at the Space Tyrant, demanding to know what he's doing attacking an ally. Responding, Frieza scoffs that this pink bubble man is just in the way, and since Buu can regenerate anyway, he fails to see the problem. Furthermore, Frieza doesn't consider them allies, and if he continues to be a burden, he just needs to get lost, much to the frustration of the Majin. Suggesting they'd fare better by working together, Frieza promises that he alone is enough to win this battle. Looking to the air, Buu uses Tien's Kikoho, leaving Murno stupefied. Beaten and confused, the tyrant spouts that Buu missed his target. Apologizing for this grievous mistake, he offers to heal him right away, warning him not to get caught up in the next attack. Naturally, this deserved revenge leaves a sour taste in Frieza's mouth. Tossing his cloak, Murno proposes. He and Vegeta get started. Murno quips that he can't wait to test the fruits of Vegeta's training with the old man, snorting at the old man label given to his father. The prince finds it interesting that even some angels have a rebellious streak, causing the so-called rebel to remind him, all beings do. In fact, one day his own daughter Brawl will call the mighty Vegeta old man as well, using this to segue to his next topic, inquiring if Vegeta ever respected his father. Claiming in Universe 13, the prince killed both his parents for his own gain, but Murno admits this is what he likes about him. He'll do just about anything to get stronger, which reminds him, there's still more he needs to inform him of. His special ability to create portals. They don't simply transport matter from point A to point B. For example, he could simply teleport Vegeta from this planet to somewhere randomly in space, but that wouldn't be any fun. The portals can also transmit particles such as light or energy like heat. If he wanted, he could bring warmth to a cold dead planet and even life to reincarnate it. Demanding to know the point of all this and what he's planning, the angel bluntly states what he's getting at. His favorite ability the portals possess is the freedom to transfer the energy from one being to another, even if they're complete strangers. The strong can stay strong, and the weak can stay weak as he decides. Revealing he's done this through 13 universes in total, which one would assume means the current 12 universes and his own. Offering to grant the prince infinite strength, just as he did for his counterpart to become more powerful than he could ever possibly become on his own. But Vegeta doesn't even consider the offer, refusing outright. While greatly disappointed, Murno kind of figured he would reject the offer, but claims his other self was much smarter. But the prince doesn't care. Being beaten down and overpowered by someone is the worst feeling in the world for a Saiyan. He refuses to admit defeat, but Murno just calls this naive. Why choose the trivial task of training with the Grand Minister when one could have that same outcome tenfold instantly? But whether it's trivial or not, Vegeta claims the angel will know soon enough. Wow! Vegeta has finally achieved Ultra Instinct. Beautiful! On their way, Whis and the Grand Minister travel through space, his father asking how much longer he thinks it'll be, and it should only take about another 10 minutes or so. Sensing Vegeta's ki spike, the both of them are astonished to see how much he's improved. With his energy irradiating like never before, it almost seems Murno stands corrected on his previous belief. Staring him down, the Saiyan taunts the angel, chiding him to bring it. If you say so. Good! Toying with him, Murno couldn't be happier with this power boost. Standing by, Buu is astonished on what an evolution this is, and Frieza just mutters grumpy racist stuff under his breath. Asking if he's done, Vegeta states he would like to begin. After witnessing Vegeta, quite literally, beat Murno's ass up and down the planet, Buu worries he's going too far. Just because nobody's here, there's no reason to destroy the Earth like this. Much more, and he's sure it'll simply crumble. While his other self takes a barrage of ki blasts head on, the crest on the remaining angel becomes complete, signifying his death, but also that he's now risen to full power. As he didn't believe for a second Vegeta would push him all the way to this point, even coming closer to tell the prince himself, snorting that his old man occasionally gets something right. He even admits he's gonna have to use his full power for this one. But not here, for the angel has somewhere better in mind, descending a portal on them all, taking the four of them to the planet he previously gathered his copies on. The silence is near maddening. Gazing out into space, Murno admits simply losing himself among the stars is one of his favorite things to do here. Buu chorts, "What a happy-go-lucky guy you are," before stating 3-on-1 may be tough for even him. Realizing he accidentally teleported more than Vegeta here, Murno offers to fix this right away. Raising his hand, he tells he and Frieza to stay still a moment. Levitating them above the ground, he requests that they just sit and watch from there. Aggravated by this taunting, Buu charges, but is stopped. It would seem there is an invisible wall preventing them from interfering. Extending his arm, Frieza commands Buu to move. But even he cannot break this barrier. Knocking on it further, it doesn't even seem to be damaged. Looking back on him, Murno shouts that those idiots won't be able to budge that thing, especially the pink one that uses dirty tricks, still holding the grudge of being turned into chocolate apparently. And now, there's no one left to disturb them. The angel reiterates that Vegeta has grown quite powerful. So strong, in fact, he knows he wouldn't dare use such petty techniques to win. Even before today, he's always found those types of attacks aggravating, requesting he and the prince fight with their fists from here on, and such a proposal garners no protest from Vegeta. Away, it would seem Copy Murno is getting the best of Goku. Paps understands he is improving, but I don't want to kill you, but if you continue at this rate, you will surely die. Requesting the Saiyan throw in the towel, but he can only laugh at this suggestion. Try as they might, alas, no luck, causing Frieza to chort that Buu is making a fool of himself, which seems to result in a chink in the armor. Gawking at the crack, they begin to theorize on what happened. Possibly it was just latency from the last attack. Calling Buu an idiot, Frieza points out that's not even close to where the blast landed, as it cracks once more, mirroring what happened in Fusion Reborn. The Space Lord gets what's going on, singing out an extended note, but nothing. As the silence becomes awkward, he spouts for Buu not to just stand there and make himself look like an idiot too. And it breaks again, with no other option it could be. Insults damage the shield. The two of them go to work, quickly chopping down on it. Congratulating him in his own way, Frieza insists Buu continue. But upon requesting the Space Tyrant's help, he pushes that Buu alone is enough to participate in this ridiculous endeavor. Annoyed, he yells, "Stupid small guy!" Laughing aloud, that managed to take a big chunk out of it. Snapping not to insult him, Buu assures him he was directing it only to the barrier, but no dice. Giving it back, he begins to scream, "Pink bubblegum trash! Arrogant gummy blob!" resulting in a shouting match of childish insults. Once again recommending Goku give up, Copy Murno informs the Saiyan he's missing something to break through his most recent ceiling. Rising, albeit shaking, Goku shouts that he'll do whatever it takes to improve. And the angel believes he has just the right thing, stating he himself has been able to live under no one's order, to thrive with zero disturbance, and he has obtained the power to achieve his dreams, suggesting he use the Dragon Balls to assist. But Goku scoffs that isn't strength, as gifted power isn't earned. Copy Murno takes interest in that there does seem to be a limit to Goku's willingness to improve, giving him an idea, snapping his fingers and getting his attention. Two portals open, one containing Pan and the other Chi-Chi. Demanding to know what he's doing, he explains it's only a simple game. Goku will have the opportunity to save one or both of them if he can answer a few questions. But if not, either of them, including up to both, will perish. And if one is to meet their end, Murno will simply add someone else to fill the void, and this game will continue until Goku wins. Knowing how bad this is, he can only curse at the angel, reminding him that if he wants to be mad, Goku should remember who here is pulling the strings. So if he'd like to show anger to anyone, perhaps it shouldn't be him. Furthering, he also reminds Goku if he'd like to forego this test, then he could always just kill him, but that's highly discouraged. Announcing the first question as Goku screams for him to stop. Thinking to himself, Vegeta knows that even if he can't predict Murno's next attack, he's too relentless to get in an opportunity, noting his fighting style is completely without precedent. The Grand Minister, beginning to grow nervous, questions again how much longer until their arrival, and due to the change of location, it should only be 1 more minute, but Vegeta's ki is fading fast. Continuing to make headway, Buu and Frieza shout every petty insult that comes to mind. Announcing to his father that they are here. Whis quickly takes note of the winded potty mouths, inquiring to the purpose of this language. Buu fills in the angel on everything that's going on, who doesn't take long to comprehend the situation, assuring the duo to leave it to him, questioning if even he can shatter this barrier. Whis merely takes in a breath, before shouting something so obscene and loud it can't even be said to the general public. Back with Goku, the Saiyan lies before 2 empty portals, meaning he has saved both Chi-Chi and Pan by activating Ultra Instinct. Murno informs him that he should get a look at himself, who didn't even realize he had entered the form. Going on to elaborate, Grandpappy details his reasoning for putting Goku through such extreme circumstances. While it's obvious he enjoys fighting merely for the sake of it and for his own self-improvement, it's also evident his trigger to evolve leaps and bounds lies in his affection for his loved ones. At first he wasn't sure, but it's become obvious, apologizing for putting him through such intense measures. And now, Goku's training here is done. Extending his arm, he restores Goku's ki, wishing him luck in his endeavors. As a portal opens behind the Saiyan, he thanks the old-timer for everything he's done, then realizing he never officially found out who this guy even is, turning around to ask his name, who bluntly states, as we all suspected, he is Zeno, and hopes he can meet up with Goku again one day. As Vegeta finds himself in the dirt, Murno scolds that he can't be done now, frantically spouting this is the most fun he's ever had. How could the prince let him down like this? And, in a cold sweat, he elaborates that any minute, his father will arrive, and something catches Vegeta's eye. Grabbing him by the arm, Goku dead-eyes the angel. Hey, remember me?
Goku? Wow, you've sure changed. What's with the hair?
And the aura! You seem even stronger than Vegeta-kun! Walking over to said ally, Goku blurts that the prince has seen better days, who doesn't much care for this obvious statement. And that's when it clicks with the angel. There is only one being the Saiyan could have trained with to achieve this kind of power. Curious to find the stupid brat still lives on in that realm. But it makes no difference now. If he were going to do something, it would have already been done. Taking excitement in the fact his fun gets to continue for a bit longer. Goku explains what happened after he went through the portal, including GP Zeno and the Copy Murno, which angers the prince just a bit. Slightly upset in the fact that Goku got to train with an exact replica of their opponent this entire time, while he's just had to learn as he goes. Trying to apologize, that's just kind of how it happened, Vegeta continues his tirade on his scores of improvement through training with the Grand Minister. And once again, the great Kakarot has to one-up him.
While this is rather humorous, I'm afraid my time here is slowly running out.
Their endless bickering finally comes to a halt as Murno approaches.
Goku-kun, Vegeta-kun, that's quite enough. It's really all the same in the end. So, let's continue.
The Saiyans take their stance as Vegeta warns Goku this is his fight. Goku fires at Murno, who calls the attack meaningless, opening a portal in front of himself, redirecting it behind our hero. And that's when Goku shows he can use the portals himself. Sending his fist through the portal, we see Goku's hand, hinted at by the wristband. Showing the fruits of his labor, Goku proves he can stand toe-to-toe with anyone, to the great irritation of the Angel, who's still holding his face in pain. Watching the chaos, even Buu doesn't know how to react to such a mess of a battle when something catches the attention of Whis. Telling his father he never remembers seeing his brother have such a good time. As the Z-Fighters seem to have run out of steam, the Rogue Angel shouts, "What's wrong? Is that the best you've got?" Oh! Jiren, that last punch stopped short. He chides Vegeta he can't win like that, mocking with his own hand as a prop.
Come on, dear prince, swing me with all your might. My turn. Now, your turn, Vegeta-kun.
Son of a... In a rather odd display, this continues back and forth of
your turn, my turn,
causing the odd fighter to joyfully laugh aloud. Though put off initially, even Vegeta can't help but crack a smile, taking a moment to merely witness what's going on. Both warriors being simultaneously knocked to the ground. Murno belly laughs while lying down, echoing Whis' observation. He admits he's having too much fun, unable to recall the last time he laughed so much.
If only things could stay like this forever. But I guess it's the end.
As the Grand Minister steps in to put a stop to the chaos, complimenting his old man on destroying his barrier so fast. Looking down at his son, he explains this is not something everyone will forgive. But if Murno is able to express his remorse, he will attempt to show leniency. Scoffing, the Angel questions if that's coming from his father, or that Shinkan interjects. He will not judge him subjectively as good or evil, as everything comes down to Zeno in the end. Murno comments that's typical from him. Calling out for Whis, he inquires if he cares about Vegeta and the others, which of course he does, to the extent an Angel can, before asking how he would react if the Daishinkan were to be eradicated by his own son, referring to Universe 13's Vegeta's actions towards his own parents. Standing his ground, Whis agrees with the Grand Minister. Everything that is the will of the Omni King. Vegeta continues his silence.
You're such an adult.
Ushering the Rogue Angel to leave, Murno has other plans, beginning to irradiate energy. He bluntly states if he were to go before that little brat, he doesn't like his odds. As Whis sees what's going on, he commands everyone to quickly surround him. Choosing to self-destruct rather than face the possibility of being erased by Zeno. This brings up a recurring question with Buu. Was Murno really bad? As Dende himself even said previously, he didn't seem to have any wicked intent. And after all, it's not like he killed anyone, causing Frieza to snort in the background. And the Grand Minister himself doesn't even know. But angels must remain neutral, as they are only to act as the will of Lord Zeno. Saying aloud, Goku remembers Copy Murno mentioning something about obtaining freedom, leaving us to wonder exactly what his goal really was.
Guess I'm up. I don't want to rely on these reserves forever. But let's get to it. Since the bodyguards are a bit too comfortable, maybe I should have a little more fun. And for now, that concludes Toshio Wataro's Dragon Ball Super Kai. Remember to support him using the links below. And to quickly give my 2 cents on the series, I think so many things were done right. Now maybe going deeper into the Otherworld/Afterlife mythos was a bit much for some people so soon after the Tournament of Power, but I don't mind it personally. I think Murno, or Waka, was a great, fun character that fit well into the new writing style of Dragon Ball Super, and an even better way to secretly reboot Janemba. One thing I was confused by very briefly was thinking everyone Murno kidnapped was lost forever, but since Goku learned how to use the portals, I guess they just have a bit of searching to do. And they'll also eventually fix the damage to Earth using the Dragon Balls. But I could ramble on about this forever, I kinda realized that while writing this, but I'd rather tell the stories rather than review them. So you guys take care, thank you so much for supporting this channel and the Dragon Ball community, and I'll catch you next time.